I'm so excited to taste this chicken. But first, in fact, let me move the chicken. I want it out of the way so I can move, so I can show you guys the soap thing and not get any soap in our food. All right, and I'm going to use this to cover my chicken so I can show you guys what I'm up to over here. So when I do my soap, I take 1.5 bars of the white soap. 1.5 bars. We shred it up with a cheese grater. Lily helps me. And I take 1.5 cups of each borax, 1.5 cups, and 1.5 cups of washing soda. Okay, washing soda. Don't use baking soda. I'm telling you. I've done it when I was out of stuff, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to try one of those newfangled recipes because I'm out of my washing soda. I'm going to try the baking soda. It messes up the coagulant, okay? It doesn't let it coagulate. It messes up the compound, and so does salt. So now that we have that firmly established, I put the powder in the water. I have a huge pot, okay? It's my large pot. I can put about 2.5 gallons of water in this thing easy. And I put the powdered substances in there first, the 1.5. And if I don't have oxy powder right now, I get a raw, you know, dye and perfume-free, fragrance-free oxy powder. Those are not that expensive, and you're not going to use that much anyway. And I just happen to be out right now, but I put 1.5 cups of that as well. If you have it on hand, go for it, but don't buy OxyClean and all that junk that you're paying for packaging, perfumes, and blue dye. All right, so now that we have that established as well, unless you get the one that's white, but still you have all the perfumes in it and you're paying for their packaging. So now that we have that established, you put your powdered substances first in extremely hot water, and you let it sit on just a little lower than maximum, okay? A little lower than high. And let it completely dissolve before you put your shredded soap in there. And then you're going to turn the volume, turn the temperature down to between medium and minimum. So like on mine, it's the numbers. I'm going to put it at about 3. And you see what it looks like? It's almost completely dissolved. I want that dissolved because I don't want it to be grainy or gritty when I get done, okay? So let me go ahead and add my shredded soap. Hi, Angel Eyes. Hi, babies. I run a cat rescue, if you don't already know. The babies are hungry. The natives are restless. And I don't just dump it in there. I carefully add the shredded soap. Slowly. Because I want to give it a chance to start melting down and not just pack it full of it. I've been through a lot of trial and error with this stuff. Oh, I forgot to turn my oven off. Hold on. All right. And of course, the shreds just start melting down right away. I want to give them just a minute so that they have a chance. Notice I'm just barely, hold on. I'm just barely giving it a whisk. I'm not like whipping it. You're not cooking dope, guys. You're cooking soap, okay? So you're going to carefully whisk it. You don't need to whip it. It's already starting to break down really, really good. That's the goal. You want to give everything a chance to absorb together in this process so that you're not having gritty or grainy soap. It's still going to come out quite thick. Hey, really though? I said I'm done with you. It's still going to come out super thick using my recipe. I've also used the ones that people put out where they use like only 1 bar of soap and 1 cup of this and 1 cup of that. I'm sorry, but it comes out so weak that it really doesn't clean anything, guys. I'm sorry. I use my Grammy and Granddaddy's old recipe. This is the way they originally made it back in the day. And then they also always kept a bar of Zote or Fels Naphtha, but really Zote was the whitening one and it got the stains out. The white one, thank you, before they started adding pink dye. And you use that. I always have it right here. I need to put a new bar because I use it like crazy. I use it for treating stains. I use it for cleaning my fingernails. It works great. This compound also makes a wonderful base for making your dish soap. And that is what we're going to do probably in part 3 or 4 as I get this done. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to just finish adding this shredded soap. I'm going to stop the video and upload post part 2 here onto that platform. And then when that's done uploading and we get done eating our yummy chicken and onions, and by the way, the onions did, cornflake breading did stick to the onions, and they do taste phenomenal. I'm really shocked. So not a perfect experiment, but a tasty one that did kind of work out. You're going to notice that your soap begins to bubble up. Again, you want to make sure you turn the volume, turn the heat down, because you don't want your soap to end up bubbling up and overflowing, or you don't want to cook the soap, okay? This is a nice, easy process. There's no reason to rush through it. It's unnecessary to rush through it. I know that the world runs on hyper speed now, but we're talking homesteading, okay? We're talking homesteading. We're not talking we need to do this in a minute. And all those other recipes also try to get you to be in hyper speed, and they rush you through it, and they don't show you the process. They don't show you the mistakes that can happen and explain why and how. Also, I don't think that they're very cost efficient with how they promote certain products. Everybody wants to, these people clearly are making money online on their videos. They have a spouse and all that. Listen, I'm a single widowed mother of a special needs child. I became disabled a few years ago from degenerative bone disease coming on so early, and I broke my back not once, but again this year twice. So a couple years ago the first time, and then this year a few months ago again. I am doing everything I can. I've been through extreme physical and psychological abuse for decades. I'm in CPTSD counseling, and I'm not a perfect Christian. I was a minister, but I realized because I do sometimes slip an F-bomb here and there and stuff, and I struggle with certain aspects of my personality that are really bad defects. They're just ugly, you know, residual effects of abuse and stuff, and street life from my life before when I was into drugs and all that. So I don't think I'm a really good example for the Lord, and I do not deserve to hold that place, that title, that office. So I stepped down from that. A lot of people still call me a minister. A lot of people still talk to me and come to me for counsel, which is cool. But I don't hold that office, and I don't have that title anymore. So I'm going to finish adding the rest of my shredded soap. I don't want to leave my whisk there. I need one of those big metal professional whisks. I used to be a chef. And what I need is one of those huge vats, you know, that's like this tall. And I need one of those huge whisks that's like this long for professional kitchens. One day, I'm working with CareerLink. I'm in with CareerLink. They're working with me via Vogue Rehab, so that I can try to at least get some kind of a remote job from home that I can still homeschool my special needs child, and that I can handle, because physically I'll never be 100% again, and I'll never be able to handle those physical jobs again. And that's okay too. It's not a big deal. I'll homestead. I'm a homeschool teacher. My daughter is amazing, regardless of her special needs and blindness. The girl freaking crushes everything she comes in contact with, whether it's a lesson at school or at her special needs summer camp through the Tim Tebow Foundation. The girl is amazing. She's our miracle, and her siblings feel the same way, and she feels the same way about her siblings. So let me give you a gander at this. Of course, there are still obviously going to be soap flakes. They are not completely dissolved, and that's okay. That's not the goal. No rush, no rush. But you see it beginning to suds a little bit. I'm going to turn it down even a little more than that. I want it to stay hot enough to continue the dissolving process, right? Dissolving it. But I don't want it to cook the soap, and I don't want it to bubble up and overflow. The goal is to take your time, because now I can go sit down and eat while it's preparing, right? And just come back in and keep whisking it here and there. You don't have to stand here and whisk it. I've seen so many videos where they say, keep whisking it, keep whisking it. You got to keep whisking it. No, honey, no. There's no reason to rush through this process, guys. Do it while you're doing something else that you can keep coming back to it for, right? No rush. Stop rushing everything. Believe me. It's very healing to slow down, especially in the busy, crazy world we live in. It will be very therapeutic for you. All right, I'll see you back on part 3, and we will see how beautiful our detergent is beginning to look. And then I will separate a part of it, and I'll show you how I make my dish soap using my Grammy Granddaddy's recipes and make it actually cut grease and antibacterial. Even body wash for my daughter, not using this. I have other things I use for that. And toothpaste, it works great. No fluoride, homemade. And my anti-aging skin serum that's actually very soothing. You notice that I have a lot of those lines and wrinkles that were trying to come on the past few years until now. I'm like 49 in November. And it's actually been tightening them up and diminishing them. And it's actually very soothing as well for my daughter's delicate, highly hypersensitive skin. All right, guys, we'll see you back in part 3.